Hi, I'm Rachel Nachmias. I'm a stylist and best-selling style author, and today I'm going to be putting together a 16-piece capsule wardrobe for myself without buying anything. Okay, so before we get into this already very long video, I just wanted to explain a little bit about what exactly I'm doing here. So essentially, I've decided that I want to take at least a month and focus in on just a little bitty slice of my wardrobe and wear exclusively those pieces. So in this video, which is going to be mostly screen share, I'm going to be hopping between my style book, where I store my inventory of my entire wardrobe, and the 4x4 wardrobe template, which is a pretty well-known one around the internet and was created by the Vivian Files. So without further ado, let's get into it.
This is a pretty popular capsule wardrobe format that sort of circulates around the internet. And I do actually have my own sort of formula of components to create a capsule. But for whatever reason, I'm just really interested in this one. I guess because it's at least giving me the mystique of being really, really tiny, like just 16 pieces. Now, that being said, there are no shoes or accessories or coats included in this particular capsule. So on the other hand, it's not as concise as it seems like maybe it is. But then also I feel a little bit already kind of anxious about being this constrained to 16 pieces for the next couple of months or so. Who knows? I may give up on it, but I want to try and stick with it for at least a month, and it's definitely what I'm going to be taking away with me when I go to London. So just to go over it really quickly, the idea behind this formula is that you're working with two sort of core neutrals, or you can just work with one and fill both of the slots for neutrals with that one neutral. And then later on, you get some categories where you're able to throw in other colors and prints and etc. So I'm definitely going to be bending some of the rules and concepts behind this wardrobe, because there's absolutely no way that I'm going to only have one dress that I'm going to wear for the next, I don't know, even like 2 days, I feel like. So some of these top slots are for certain going to become slots for additional dresses. I think it's kind of funny. On the side here, it says, hey, you have to wear a top every day. And it is totally true that we need more tops than bottoms in our wardrobes when we're trying to be really concise about what we're including. But definitely that's not the reason. The reason is because bottoms only change so much. However, every dress is also a top when you think about it. So I think it should work out just fine swapping in some dresses here. It's also one other reason why I wanted to work with this format as opposed to my format, because my format focuses even more so on separates, which frankly is what most of my clients want to wear. I've been known for, I don't even know how long, most of my life for wearing dresses, and I still intend to wear dresses, but I do also want to wear separates more, because I think separates outfits are a little bit more creative. So, okay, we're going to start off with the first core of 4, and ideally how we're going to work here is that we're going to be switching between this page where I'm going to eventually be filling in the items from my wardrobe that I'm using in the capsule, and then over to a screen share of my style book that I keep on my phone. I have just this week gone and updated and added a lot of things that were missing from my wardrobe catalog. Kind of embarrassing, but nevertheless, it was not fully updated, still is not fully updated, but I have updated all of the garment categories that are included in the 4x4 template. So we should have everything that we need to get this done right now. So without further ado, I neglected to say, maybe just because it feels so obvious to me, my neutrals are going to be black and white. So I'm going to start with the black row, and already having palpitations and trepidations at the idea that of the limited amount of things that I'm including here, that one of them is going to have to be a black jacket. I do own a couple, you'll see them in a minute. I never wear them. I mean, I have, but I don't. So that's interesting. So here we go into my style book. For those of you who don't know, Style Book is an app. I think it's $4 or $5 maybe. And I think it's only available on iPhone. There's a similar app for Android if you're an Android person called Stylist, or maybe a couple of different similar ones. This is a wardrobe management software, essentially. I don't use most of the features, quite frankly, but I do try as best I can to keep my items cataloged in here. To be fair, I am woefully out of date on accessories. Like, I never even really begun to start. I'm probably missing a couple of bags, and definitely shoes are not even remotely similar to what's actually in my closet. But as far as tops, bottoms, dresses, and outerwear, those things are pretty much updated as of right now in terms of what's actually in my closet is in here. But nevertheless, this is what I have: 25 tops, 15 bottoms, and 34 dresses. Yes, I have a lot of dresses. So we're going to start off actually down here in outerwear. And as you can see, I do have 9 outerwear items. Most of them are coats. I have a little bit of a problem accumulating coats. We'll probably talk about that on another day because the Vivian Files template doesn't actually include any coats. But nevertheless, these are the jackets that I own. And I do have a couple of cardigans, but I really do not have any other jackets besides these. I don't want to use the cardigans that I have for this purpose. So I'm going to be using these jackets in the slots that are provided for them. And I've thought about this already, so full disclosure, this isn't like my absolute first impression on taking this template and trying to apply it to my wardrobe. I've kind of been mulling it over the last couple of days while I've been busy trying to figure out how to screen share on video, and hopefully this is going to work. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, so anyway, I have 2 black jackets. I have this one, which is sort of a collarless, open jacket with like a really long peplum, and it's kind of a knit material, and not as in like a sweater knit, just as in it's some sort of a jersey. And then I also have this kind of like ruffle peplum tuxedo jacket. Of the 2, this is the one that I've worn a lot more, and I think there are a couple of reasons for that. One is that the peplum on this one is still long relative to my preferences, but is a little bit shorter than the other one. And I am starting to think that the peplum on that other jacket is just too long, at least for somebody my height. So that might be something that I'm going to look into tailoring going further down the line. But this jacket is a little bit shorter in terms of the hem length of the jacket, and I think it works for my proportions a little bit better without any tailoring. And also, it has more like a shoulder pad. It's much more constructed than the other jacket. And I do think that's potentially a little more flattering on me. I'm also kind of excited to make outfits with this one, where, I don't know, I just can't get it together with thinking of what I'm going to pair that other jacket with, even though in theory, it's my like platonic ideal of a jacket. So at any rate, I think this is a jacket that I'm going with. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the other 3 items in that first row for my black items, and then we'll come back to this when we grab it to pop it into the template. Okay, so the next item is also a top, and it's meant to be a blouse. I'm just gonna hit all items and tops so you guys can see, you know, my blouses and also my t-shirts and everything that's in here. Clearly, I have a considerable number of black tops, although some of them are not seasonally appropriate. So you can see there's like a spaghetti strap tank top with like a little bit of a peplum to it. This t-shirt with a v-neck that has ruffle sleeves, which I really, really love. I wear that piece a lot, but it's just a little cold for that right now. And this off-the-shoulder embroidered black blouse is also a blouse that I really like. As well on the top right, can't see any detail about that, I'm sure, from your perspective, but it's sort of like a sleeveless point d'esprit blouse that I actually acquired relatively recently, one of the newer pieces in my wardrobe, and I really like it, but I would only be able to wear it at this time of the year with something over it. And I think I want all of the blouses that I choose for this capsule to be able to be worn either by themselves or under something, i.e. I want them to have sleeves. So after that whole diatribe about sleeves, I'm pretty sure the blouse that I'm going with for this slot is this one right here. I am also including the cami, which did not come with this blouse. It's sort of an extra piece that I purchased for utility purposes like this. So I'm including that cami as one with this blouse, since I'm not going to wear this blouse without it these days. When I was in college, I used to do stuff like that, but it's not really so much my style anymore. I wouldn't meet a client in a bra with a see-through top, probably, even though I wear my skirts really high on the waist, so it's not as revealing as all that. But TLDR is just that I'm going to be wearing a cami under this blouse, and they're going to count together because I wouldn't wear them separately. So it's basically like the underwear I need to wear this blouse. Anyway, this blouse is completely sheer. It's point d'esprit, one of my all-time favorite fabrics. I actually misplaced this blouse. It was in a suitcase and I could not find it. I looked for it so hard, and then relatively recently I finally found where it was hiding, and I was very, very glad to see it. So I'm excited to give it a little bit of wear this season. Yes, it is very sheer and it's not the warmest blouse, but I'm comfortable in it on a day when I'm mostly inside, or maybe I could also throw one of the jackets on over it. So I'm going to pop this one into that second slot. And then the third slot, we're going to be headed over to my bottoms category here. And so I need 2 black bottoms to go into those slots. And I think I'm just going to be super duper practical with these. I do have more black bottoms than any other color, and as you're going to see when we get into the white row, probably a black bottom is going to sneak in there too, which it does actually say in the instructions for the 4x4 wardrobe that you're allowed to just pull more of your first neutral into your second neutral row. So that's all cool. At any rate, for this row, I'm just going to go ahead. You can't see any details of these pants, and I'm really sorry about it, but all you really need to know is that they're high-waisted black crepe pants, and they have kind of like an elasticized waistband, and they also have elastic at the ankles. I tend to find for me that pants that taper to the ankles are much more flattering, so pretty much all my pants try to follow that model. So I've just been really cold this winter, and I know I'm going to want a couple of pairs of pants, and I don't have many, so those are going in. And I'm also just going to pull this guy, which is a terrible reconstruction of my plain black pencil skirt, but like it's a plain black ponte knit pencil skirt. You don't really need a lot of detail on those. So those are going to be the first 4 pieces that are going into my 4x4. And so with that said, I am going to go ahead and send those over to the computer and drop them into Canva and sort of bibbity bobbity boo and get them into the template. So in just 1 second in your time, we're going to hop on over to Canva where we're going to see those 4 pieces I just chose in the template. Okay, so we are back over here at the template, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and added the 4 items that we looked at. I think it's actually looking pretty good. It does look like if those were all of the pieces in my wardrobe that I would definitely be the lady in black which is something that I've had a pretty tempestuous relationship with in the past. But nevertheless, I like all these pieces. I'm excited to wear them. And with that said, let's move on to brainstorming about the second quote unquote core of 4. So again, we're gonna have a jacket, yikes, and then a top and 2 more bottoms. So this row is going to be my white row. As I said before, I think one of the bottoms is almost certainly going to end up being black. I do have 2 skirts with white in them, but one of them is definitely very much more so spring summer weight. And also, I don't know, maybe not the piece I would pick for a 16-piece wardrobe. Maybe we'll revise that thought later on in the year as I continue to try and use better and use more of some pieces that get underloved in my wardrobe, but that I really do like. But nevertheless, let's hop over to Stylebook and check out what we've got going on there for our white column. So going back into the wardrobe, we'll go ahead and start back out with jackets. I think it's pretty straightforward what I'm actually going to do here. This is the only white jacket that I own. I do tend to wear this one a lot in the wintertime, or have for several years. I've actually had 3 of them total. I'm sort of on the 3rd one as being the last one out of the 3 that's still in good enough condition that I would wear it like out anywhere. I still use one of the other 2 like sort of around the house, but the fur has definitely gotten very kind of matted down looking, and because it is white, the sleeves tend to start to discolor a little bit over time. So I really like this. It has this kind of fitted waist and fur a little higher up. It is essentially a hoodie, but I feel like it's a dressy hoodie. And honestly, right now in my life, with my lifestyle, I am just kind of dressing a little more casual than I have in years past. I think partially just moving to the suburbs, I didn't think was going to change that for me, but definitely changed that for me. So yeah, I wear this one a lot regularly, and I don't have a ton of reservations about giving it a whole slot out of my 16-piece wardrobe. It is, I will fully confess, a little bit more ivory than white, but we're being a little loosey-goosey here. Okay, over to tops. So white tops, look at all items. White tops are a thing that I kind of have a problem with. It's something that I just always find myself gravitating to and wanting to buy more of. Although looking at this, I feel like I actually have less of them than I thought that I did. I think I recently decluttered a couple of things, and so without those in here, it's feeling like I still, have a relatively edited collection of white blouses. Whether or not that bodysuit that you're seeing in the second to last row is going to make it through this year, we'll see. I haven't worn her in a while, and she's certainly not the kind of thing that I'm going to be pulling out at this time of the year, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Several of these white blouses are not the kind of thing that I wear in the winter time. There's like a white t-shirt with eyelet sleeves, this blouse on the second from the left on the 3rd row, which is one of my all-time favorites. And then I do have 4 that have long sleeves, but one of them is like fully off the shoulder and is very lightweight fabric, the one with the black tie at the neck. So that's not really one that I would tend to wear at this time of the year either. So it's really down to the 3 that are sort of clustered towards the top at the left-hand side of the screen. I'm just standing on ceremony here because I already know which one I'm going to choose. If I had to choose one white blouse for like the rest of my life, it's this one. I just absolutely love this blouse. It's my idea of what is completely my style. Even though it's semi off the shoulder, it somehow never feel cold in it in the winter. And I just completely love this. It's something that I see as being truly my style. It feels like you took a sort of, 18th or 19th century chemise, and it's sort of like tussled off the shoulder as if you're sort of in the midst of a romance novel. And I absolutely love that about it. If I could have you know, the rest of my entire wardrobe have this kind of flavor to it, I totally would. So I'm excited to continue to wear this blouse more in the upcoming seasons, and I'm definitely going to be adding it to my 4x4. So that's it for tops, and let's head on over to bottoms. Bottoms are pretty straightforward because I just don't have that many. One of them is definitely going to be this quote unquote white skirt. Okay, full disclosure, this is not actually my skirt. This is a skirt that is similar to my skirt. This is more of like a Baroque paisley print, black and white, stretchy kind of jersey skirt. Mine is more of a lace print, and I actually like mine a lot more of this. It also doesn't have that thick waistband like this one does. It just goes flush to the waist, but it gives us the overall impression. In my wardrobe catalog, I try to make it as fast and easy as possible to get things uploaded to the point where the picture at very least just jogs my memory of like, okay, I own that piece. So sometimes it's not a picture of the piece that I actually own, and I'm fine with that. If that doesn't work with you, that's fine. I'm sure you guys would at some point like to see the actual skirt. And so hopefully when I'm showing you later some of the outfits that I'm actually wearing from this 4x4, you'll see the real skirt. This is not the real skirt, but it's close enough. So we do need one last bottom in this category. And I think what I'm gonna do here is choose this flared plain black skirt. I do have more exciting black skirts that in theory could add a little more variety to this 4x4, but I really want this other silhouette option for separates outfits. I think it's one of the reasons why I sometimes don't wear separates as often and gravitate back to my dresses, because I have a lot more dresses that have a flared skirt, which in my style, I pretty much only wear either a tapered pencil skirt or a flared skirt. This skirt, unfortunately, is not as flared as I would like it to be. I actually bought this relatively recently for like $20 on Poshmark, so I don't feel super bad about it. But because I'm not buying anything new this year, this is the flared skirt that I have to work with. And I think it just is really helpful because it's gonna give me some more shoe options than I would with my straight skirts, which is gonna be pretty important, I think, especially knowing that 10 of the days of the next couple of months coming up are going to be spent in London. I'm going to be walking around a lot, which probably means I'm going to need some footwear that I might not necessarily love with a pencil skirt. So hence the reason why I'm adding this skirt, and also making sure that I have, it's going to be more than one pair of pants, just so that I know that I have outfit building material. Oh, clothing details. Just so that I know that I have outfit building material where I have a more versatile array of footwear options that can work with them. So that's it for our second row, and we're going to go ahead and pop back into Canva. And by the time you get there, I will have magically filled in all these items in the appropriate block. So I'll see you back there. So we're back with our second row all kind of filled in here. I think it's looking pretty good. I am feeling like there's a lot of solid masses of black here, and ideally there would maybe be at least more texture in the black. Although to be fair, I think there is a subtle textural element to those pants which gets completely lost in this horrible photo of them. Makes sense. I am mentally toying with the idea of swapping the plain black ponte knit pencil skirt out for one that I have that has this kind of heavy sort of guipure style lace over the top of it. We're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how it shapes up. I think, you know, these are meant to be in the neutral rows, so we're gonna see how some of these other things fill in and how we feel about it when it starts to come together as a whole. And also to keep in mind that we're going to be adding accessories on top of this, because this template doesn't include any accessories. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the mileage for, I kind of think I'm gonna tackle the mileage 4 and the expansion 4 at the same time here, and then maybe we'll come back and just fill all of that in at once. There are a couple of things that I know for sure what they're going to be. So the dress spot at the bottom right there is going to be a dress, and the top or bottom spot is going to be my singular lonely pair of jeans that I recently acquired last year. I've been loving them. I can't even believe this is me talking, but I've been loving wearing them, and I would like to keep wearing them. And I'm definitely going to be appreciative of having another pair of pants when I'm out and about walking around in cold weather this month. So I know for sure that the bottom right space is going to be a dress, and the one to the left of that is going to be my jeans. And then we have 6 other spots that all say top in them, but some of them are not going to be tops. I think, to be completely fair, I am absolutely going to need at least 2 more tops, 3 more tops, probably more practical, and then 4 dresses, I think, will be total. So 3 of those top slots will become dresses, and as well as the space that's actually labeled for a dress potentially. And then that one other one will be for my jeans, I think is what we're going to go with here. So we're going to pop back over to Stylebook and have a look at what I have that we can use to fill in these spaces in the way that I just described. And we're back. Okay, so after some interrupting phone calls, I'm back to work on filling in those last 8 slots. So just to go over, because I mentioned it, these are my jeans. They have these kind of like ripped up knees and frayed edge, which was exactly what I wanted in a pair of jeans. They're pretty high-waisted. I tend to tuck things in with them. So those are going in. So that's 1, and we have 1 down, 7 left to go. And that'll be it for the bottoms category, actually, for this capsule. So I'm going to go over to my dresses and look at the myriad of choice. Yes, some of these dresses are jumpsuits, so I guess 34 dresses is a little bit misleading, and I have more like 30 dresses, which like isn't that crazy considering some of these are only for summer, some of these are only for winter, and also dresses is the category of thing that I wear the absolute most often. So with that being said, I have a couple of dresses that I know for sure that I'm going to want. So what I've been thinking is, okay, I have a whole bunch, like a bunch of dresses kind of like this that have an open neckline, a little bit of a sleeve, a peplum, and a fitted skirt. But this one that you see here and this one are the same dress. They're from City Chic, and they're the ones that I prefer the most and wear most often. And in particular, I do tend to wear these dresses when I have an in-person client appointment. They're just the ones that I reach for first in those scenarios. And so one of those, at very least, is certainly going to have to be in there. And what I was thinking as I was prepping for this, knowing that I was going to make this video for a while and trying to figure out all of the tech side of it, what I was thinking is that I just wore this dress on the black one on the video that I just shot. So if I want to have some variety of things to wear in other videos, then, I've already just worn this one. Doesn't mean you won't see it in another video this year. You definitely will, because I just don't have that many things, and I'm not buying anything new. That's the premise of this video. So this dress will reappear, but maybe not for this part of the year. Maybe I'll hold that and then come back to it later. And also I do have this black dress, which I really like. It's probably not the most flattering dress on me. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong. It's just that the neckline's a little high. I'm relatively speaking more busty and not quite as extremely hippie as the model here, so it's not quite as good on me, but I do really like this dress. I've been wearing it a lot. I want to keep wearing it a lot. It has pockets. It is this really thick, really high quality ponte knit, and it's kind of comfortable and easy to throw on. And frankly, I've been liking wearing black a lot more lately than I have in the past, and I do want a black dress in there. So I think it makes the most sense to take the purple peplum dress, my business lady dress, and I'm going to include this one as well. So with the jeans, that's 3 spots down and 5 left to go. And while we're in this category, we're gonna try and pick 2 more dresses. So something that is a staple of my wardrobe during the winter season are sweater dresses. And I have a few. I have like 5 that are here. I think after decluttering a couple recently, that's what I have left. A couple of them are not the actual dress. I do this a lot. It's fine. But they're close enough. And they are the ones that I wear probably the most often. So I have this one. This is really similar to the dress that I have. And I actually just have 2 of the same dress, and one is in another color. So I have this picture for the other one. My dress is much more of like a pinky deep red. It's not really this color, but this is about as close as I could get. They do have long sleeves. They are off the shoulder. I don't tend to actually wear them off the shoulder. I tend to like just let the collar sit up a little bit more, which works fine for me. And one of them is royal blue, and the other one's sort of like this deep pinky wine red color, which is very hard for me to find for my coloring, but happens to be a really good variation on it for me. I'm probably going to include both of these, I think, unless there's another dress that's really calling to me that I want to include here, just because they're comfortable, they're go-tos, and I really like both colors. I like the red color more, but it's the one of the 2 that's a little more worn. I could throw in this dress. I don't know what happened to this picture either. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I'm able to edit photos better than this for my style book, but here we are. But at any rate, this is a more recent purchase that I have, and this was actually, I think this from Universal Standard. This is actually a pretty expensive dress. It's just, it doesn't work for me quite as well as the other 2. It has this really massive oversized collar that can be worn off the shoulder. Again, I tend not to wear it off the shoulder. I tend to wear it as more of like a big cowl, which I don't mind. I do like that aspect of it. I wish it was a little more comfortable to wear off the shoulder, because that's part of what I really wanted it for, but I don't mind wearing it the way that I wear it in that respect. It is also, like, you can see she's belting it, and I do kind of feel like it needs to be belted. Otherwise, it's a little shapeless through the waist, which is not my favorite. And it's also, you can probably see from this picture, like, it's pretty short as a dress just on its own. So I tend to wear leggings with it. And at the moment, I don't really have, it's something I'm going to be working on for a future video, trying to figure out how I can make it work, but I don't really have a boot that's high enough to cover that gap at the end of my leggings that is comfortable for more than very occasional wear, because I do have some knee-high boots, but they're very high heels, and I don't wear very high heels very much. So those aren't a super viable solution. I don't know. I want to include this one, but I think I'm going to end up probably going with the other 2. I do also have this sweater dress, and one other one from Torrid. I'll just show it to you while we're here. It's this one. This color of gray is really atrocious on me. I'm going to be completely honest. And this is a dress that I pretty much only just wear around the house. I was hoping for a lot more from it, but Heather Gray and me, oof. And then B, again with these dresses, a lot of them just very baggy around the waist, so it kind of ends up looking like more of a tent dress than a skater dress on me, which is not my ideal silhouette for my taste. And then as far as the other one goes, this skirt just also, it wants to hang very straight, but then it's also very clingy, and it's not tapered, and it doesn't really look like a flare either. I absolutely love this color, but I admit that silhouette-wise, this dress does leave something to be desired. And again, kind of ends up being a dress that I mostly wear to just throw something on that's warm to lounge around the house in. I might wear it on video where it's just like my top half, but I can't even think of a time that I actually did that, at least not recently. And I didn't even buy that dress that long ago. So I think, taking all factors into consideration, that I'm going to go with the other two. The other options would be to pull yet another one of these kind of peplum style dresses. I have this red one and this one, which looks red but is actually like much more of a coral pink than it shows in the photo, that I could pull from. And other than that, I do have this dress, but this is really more of a special occasion dress for me. I have worn it for like work and stuff like that, but it's not my preference for those kind of situations. It's more so the kind of thing I wear out to dinner. And yeah, I do also have this dress. I've never wholly liked this dress. It does look good on me. I think that's what I like about it. I would say apart from that, it's not really my style. There's something kind of hokey and cheesy about it, and it needs this big, thick belt to really work. It is a skater style, though. No, I think I'm just gonna probably put the two sweater dresses in. Reserve the right to change my mind, but I think that's what I'm doing. So we'll have the black skater dress, the purple peplum dress, and my two sort of quote-unquote off-the-shoulder sweater dresses, the sapphire blue and the wine red one that I have from the dresses. And that just leaves us with 3 more blouses to pick. Oh, let's look at all the tops. So I know for sure, because I haven't put any in yet, that I'm going to want some like t-shirty style tops as opposed to blouses. In general, I do think blouses look much better, but sometimes, you know, we just want something that's comfortable and it's going to get the job done. So I think, sorry, this is the worst picture on earth possible of a top, but hopefully you can tell that it's sort of a long sleeve with a bit of a puff, and it's this kind of clear blue color, not quite sapphire, maybe more periwinkle would be a better way of putting it. So I do think that I'm going to include that. I do also want one more blouse. On the other hand, I'm just not feeling stoked about wearing either of my white ones. The one that I've been thinking of including here, and I think I'm going to, is this one, which I've hardly worn, but I really do like it. The tie neck sits a little bit high, and I think that's part of my issue with it, but I really like how the print motif kind of looks like butterfly wings as opposed to just a standard polka dot, and I think it's a really statement making piece, so I want to try and use it. Part of the purpose of focusing down onto 16 pieces for a few months at a time is really to try and explore some of the pieces that I don't wear as much in my wardrobe. So I would like to include that one and try and make some outfits with it, see how it goes. I think it could be kind of cute under the black jacket, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And then one more top. So there's mostly like 2 options here as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of these are short sleeves tops that I'm not going to be wearing at this time of the year and aren't really appropriate temperature wise. I mean, I could wear them. I certainly have worn short sleeves tops in the winter. I don't want to include them in this capsule because if I'm limiting the number of tops I have, I want to be able to wear them without anything over them. So there's a couple things that I have, one of which is this top, not actually this top, but a really similar top that I have, which is off the shoulder and is light pink. It's a much more pale sort of icy peach color than this top actually is, but it does have a ruffle at the top like that. It does not have ruffles at the cuff, so it's a little bit different in that capacity, but it does have the kind of ribbed texture that this one does, so it's very similar in most respects. That is sort of like a t-shirty style top that I wear. I do like it with jeans, like how it's shown in the photo, and I am including my jeans in, and I do also like it with like a pencil skirt, and maybe would even try it with the skater skirt. So it's not a bad option, and it is adding another color into the mix, whereas I think the other option would be this black scoop neck tee that I've had for a long time that has these sort of lacy sleeves. My thing with this one is that I feel like it's maybe not as much my style, and it is yet another black piece, and out of the tops I do already have one that's black and one that's predominantly black. I think I'm gonna go with the pink one. I was thinking I was not going to, but now looking at this, I think I'm going to. I could also pick this white blouse. This blouse, though, in such a limited wardrobe, it's just kind of a pain in the neck because it always seems to need ironing, and it's a tuck out and not a tuck in blouse, so there's only certain things that I'm probably gonna like that with. And I do also have this sweater, which I would love to include, honestly, but it's worn so terribly. Like I haven't even had it that long, and it's so pilled up that I will wear it like around the house and stuff, but I hate to include it in a capsule, which is really a shame, but nevertheless, that's the state of things. So I think it's gonna be that sort of pale pink off the shoulder blouse, which does mean I have 2 off the shoulder blouses included, and technically 2 off the shoulder dresses, but I don't wear them off the shoulders, as I mentioned. But I think that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna do my magic. I'm gonna head back over to Canva and get those things into the template, and we'll have a look, and I'll give you my final thoughts about the direction of this 4x4. So this is it. This is my 4x4 capsule for this winter season. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I am second guessing a little bit just because I know that I was planning to switch to a bag that has sort of like a plaid of red and green in it that I have, and I don't love totally the idea of wearing that with the pink top and to a lesser extent the purple dress. But I think because it's wintertime and I'm always pretty much gonna have a coat on over whatever that piece is, like that's gonna be the thing that's immediately next to the bag, I think it's probably actually going to be fine. So I'm gonna go with this. If I change something up or rethink it, I'll definitely let you know, but this is what I'm working with right now. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that it's been interesting and maybe inspired you to work with a smaller number of pieces out of your wardrobe, or just think about how you want to pair the pieces in your wardrobe and what you're choosing to wear for the upcoming season, or any of the kind of stuff I talked about today. Let me know, how are you planning your wardrobe for this winter season? Because I'm really interested to hear what you guys are up to. You left me some amazing comments on my last video, so thank you very much. And with that said, we'll go to the wrap up.
Hey, if you are still here, thank you so much, and I hope that you found it helpful and inspiring, or somehow useful to your journey with your wardrobe, to watch me putter about and think about what exactly I'm going to include in this capsule wardrobe. I'm really excited to get started wearing it. In fact, as you can see, I'm already wearing my pinky reddish deep wine colored sweater dress today for my flight to London, because it's super comfortable, super warm, and I think I'll actually be pretty comfortable sleeping on the plane in it, which I'm going to be doing. So if you have made it to this point, please go ahead, leave me a comment, tell me about what you're doing with your wardrobe. Have you ever done a capsule? Give me all of your hints, tips, and advice, and also questions. And if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and do all the YouTubey things, and I will see you in the next video.